Folks, unless things change, the condo problem I'm about to discuss is only going to get worse. I'll explain and then get into the latest home prices and insights for condos across the GTA for week ending September 25th, 2024. I have analyzed many condo sales. I've worked with many condo sellers, many condo buyers. We just purchased a condo for one of our buyers. And when I analyze the numbers, when I analyze purchase price, sold price, prices in the building, here's what keeps coming up over and over again. And I'll use the example of the purchase we just did. The ink is still wet on this transaction. We just did this transaction. We purchased a condo, a fairly new condo. It's 1 year old. Well, 1 year since when the seller closed. Now, the seller purchased this condo pre-construction back in 2018. However, they closed 2023. It's now 2024. Basically, a year later, my client purchased it. We purchased it basically for the same price, actually a little bit less than what the seller purchased back in 2018. Now, they closed a year earlier, but technically, they've owned this condo when it was just, nothing there. They owned this condo since 2018. They were committed on paper and started paying deposits since 2018. Think about that for a second. If you bought pre-construction in 2018, you're selling today basically the same that you purchased it for, or a little bit less. So either way, you're losing money. Are you losing $20,000? Are you losing $50,000, $60,000? There's costs involved in closing. There's costs involved in selling. You put everything together and you net out the numbers. We're basically at 2018 pre-construction prices or less. Now, I'm not talking about buying resale 2018. I'm talking about pre-construction. 2018, 2017, 2019, prices today, those people, those sellers that are trying to sell today are going to lose money on that. And this is with multiple buyers I've seen this example with. I've seen this example also with multiple potential condo sellers that'll call me, say, Santo, I want to sell my condo. And when we look at the numbers, it's the same thing more often than not. I'll say 90% of the ones I'm dealing with, this is the way the numbers work out. Now, when I say unless things change, this problem is only going to get worse, here's what I mean. If you bought pre-construction 2018, for example, pre-construction 2019, you were paying more. Cost per square foot did not go down from 2018 to 2019 to 2020. Cost per square foot when you were buying pre-construction was going up substantially each year. So people that are condo owners or future condo owners that are going to be closing this year or closing next year or closing the year after, they paid a much higher premium when they bought than the year before. And so that's how I see that whole scenario of I bought 5 years ago, now I've closed, what's my condo value? I just see that problem getting worse. Unless things change, prices have to go up. Condo prices now, resale prices, they have to go up substantially for those future condo owners to realize a profit. Now, if you think, well, maybe breaking even is a goal, do you realize that breaking even financially still means you're losing some money? Think about it. Your money's been tied up for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years in some cases. If you're breaking even, you're actually losing money because of the opportunity costs in having that money tied up there. So It's just going to get worse. Is there a solution here? Well, to bring it down to its bare situations, you either sell now at a loss and realize the loss now, or you're in it for the long haul. You need to hang on to that condo until appreciation works in your favor. How long is that going to be? Who can say for sure? But those are the only real two solutions. Either sell now, realize the loss, if you can, because many of these sellers that are trying to sell, some of them can't sell just because they don't have the finances. The value of the condo is actually lower than what they have mortgaged out. So even if they want to realize the loss, for some of them, it's extremely difficult because they've got to put money in order to sell. And then holding on to it for a long haul, for many, that's also a major financial commitment. Do you have the financial stamina to do that? This is the state of the condo market. Not in every situation, because the resale market, if the condo is much older, the numbers work out a bit different. But if you bought pre-construction and your condo right now is fairly new, brand new, or 1 year or 2 years old, this is how the numbers are working out for you. Not very well. Chances are you'd be losing money. If you think this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. If you get value from what we're talking about, subscribe. If you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. There's a link up here. There's a link below this video. The link is to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you, and we'll talk about whatever's on your mind. Now, let's get into the condo numbers. Folks, this show's about condo apartments, but we have an awesome condo townhouse for sale. Check out the video at the end of this video. Let's get started. We're going to be focused, again, this data, the numbers, only for condo apartments for week ending September 25th. These are average sold price, and we're going to be looking at City of Toronto on its own, York Region condos on its own, and Peel Region condos. We're going to get started with the City of Toronto. For week ending September 25th, 197 condos were sold. 16 of those were at $1 million or more. Now, we're into the fall market. September 25th is the third full week, so we're into the fall market. We expect sales to increase. It's not necessarily happening in every property type, but condos sales seem to be trending up. Now, I'm just talking about the last 3 weeks, the fall market. So sales are up. 197 were sold. Average sold price down a bit to $676,000. And if we kind of look at this and we kind of go back to August, we could say, well, prices are up since August. And you'd be right. Or if we say, well, since the beginning of the fall market, prices are down. Or we can go back to May and say, well, prices are way down since May. It all depends on how you want to interpret the chart and the kind of range you're looking at here. Compared to last year, 676,000 is 10% lower than where we were this time a year ago. The median price is 6% lower. And if we look a little bit closer at the dotted line, that's a 4-week moving average. I do have 3 months on the board here. And July, so the end of June, July to mid-August, median and average prices were trending down. But since kind of the end of August and now into the fall, kind of looks like prices, both median and average price, kind of sort of trending up, even though they're down a bit. But I do know this one number here of 714 is kind of pulling up the overall average. If that wasn't there, this line here for average prices would look a little bit different. But the median price is also kind of just slightly trending upwards. 197 were sold, 24% sold. at list price or more. Listings, September 11th, we shot up to almost 1,100 listings, but each week since then, listings are dropping on a weekly basis. Active listings, the amount of condos available for sale, way up there at 5,576. That's been trending up since the beginning of the fall season. Months of inventory down a bit to 6.5 months of inventory, pretty much still a buyer's market. Here's the whole city broken down into 9 sections, and we say for on average 6.5 for the whole city of Toronto for condos, apartments, 6.5 months of inventory. But you look at some of these areas here, Scarborough sitting at 4 months of inventory. Still a buyer's market, generally speaking, just for Scarborough, but it's not like an extreme buyer's market. It's 4.1 months of inventory. York Mills, Rosedale, 5.9 months of inventory. Downtown is the opposite. It's 9 months of inventory in downtown Toronto. Yet, I'll give you an example of, just because I'm telling you downtown, 9 months of inventory, you're going to see condos on the market for a long, long time. But we just purchased a condo for our buyer client, and there were multiple offers on this purchase, and it sold quick right away. The more desirable condo, if you're a buyer and you're thinking, I want a view, I want space, I want it new, and all these things that you really like, you're not the only one. Other buyers like those things too. And you could find in certain situations competing for the more desirable condos. The other ones are going to sit there. And we're seeing that with 9 months of inventory. York Region condos. 41 condos were sold. 2 of those were at $1 million or more. Average sold price is $669. Since we've started the fall market, average price has been in the 660,000. It really hasn't moved much, although, there's a few bucks each week. It's a little higher, but really we're talking about a couple of thousand increase. It's been pretty much in the 660 something as the average sold price. 669 is 10% lower than where we were this time a year ago. And we've seen that since the beginning of September, 11%, 10% lower. The median price is also 10% lower year over year. And when we look at the pricing, well, the median price especially, it's kind of flat. 41 were sold, 17% sold at list price or more. Listings, like many of the other areas, listings shot up, and now each week in the fall season, listings are starting to come down. But active listings is continuing to grow. Months of inventory sitting at 5.5, just on the north side of what we would say is the borderline between a buyer's market and a balanced market. So we're sitting at 5.5 there. Here's Peel Region condos. Sales, pretty clear, sales are trending down. 21 condo apartments were sold. None of them sold at $1 million or more. Average price, $593,000. Now, we had the Labor Day weekend price of $531. If we get rid of that and you're not looking at that anymore, it kind of looks like average prices are trending up for condos in Peel Region. Compared to last year, $593, it's slightly lower, $2,000 lower. So percentage-wise rounded, there's really no percentage change year over year. The median price is 5% lower. The dotted line kind of shows that prices are a bit flat, but I'm flagging this Labor Day weekend price. Well, we're just talking about that on the Sunday show. They called it a monkey weekend. But the Labor Day weekend, that drags the average price. If this wasn't here, the line would look a little bit different. And I'm not trying to manipulate the numbers. These are the numbers that happened. But you kind of got to try to interpret what it really means. 21 were sold, 33% sold at list price or more. So 7 of those condos sold at list price or more. Listings coming down to 124 were listed. Active listings actually came down from one week to the next. Very few parts of the GTA are we seeing that. Active listings is growing in most areas for most home types, but in this case for condos in Peel region, active listings came down a little bit. And months of inventory climbed to 9.4 months of inventory. Here's a quick summary. We're pretty much in a buyer's market. In some scenarios, some situations, a desirable condo, there's going to be some competition and it's going to sell for more than the list price or pretty close to the list price. But generally speaking, condo market, it's taken, prices are trending down. Generally speaking, lots of inventory. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day. You're about to see the inside of 75 Weldrick Road East, Unit 742. This is an updated 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo complex.